Hi everyone. This is going to be a quick little summary of the major economic systems in the colonies during this time period. Remember, we've already covered mercantilism, so keep in mind how all of this connects to one another. Our learning objective is to be able to explain the causes and effects of a transatlantic trade over time. We want to be able to understand the key economic activities for colonial America. And the first thing we want to look at is the occupations. The vast majority of colonists were tied into farming in some way or another, and this was consistent in all three colonial regions, not just the Chesapeake and Middle colonies. Other commonly found occupations were merchants, fishermen, printers, clergy, doctors, and lawyers. Keep in mind that at this point, to be a minister in colonial America was very prestigious, and most were well respected. Doctors and lawyers don't have the same reputation that they do today. They weren't quite as prestigious as they are considered to be today. In our regions, we want to be able to remember that in New England, it was small scale agriculture. So you're not seeing these large estates. Instead, you're seeing family farms. The economy was based on trade, fishing, lumber, shipbuilding. In the middle colonies, we know the economy is very diverse. It's a blend of both New England and the South. So you are seeing some large farms that are producing all sorts of grains like wheat. Remember, Quaker oats as your hint. You're also going to see iron, flour, wood, tobacco. You see the fur trade. With our commerce, we want to think about there's major trade and even some early industry. So these were our large exporting colonies with cities like New York City and Philadelphia. And then our southern colonies, remember, we break it down into the Chesapeake and the Carolinas. The key crop in the Chesapeake and North Carolina would have been tobacco. Another side note is in the Chesapeake, you are going to end up seeing a pretty vibrant trade, but remember, tobacco. And then in South Carolina, you're going to see rice and indigo, with all of those southern colonies relying very heavily on slave labor. So then that takes us to the transatlantic trade, which hopefully should be familiar from world history. So you want to be able to think about this triangular trade. So it is the exchange of goods from the New World to Europe and Africa. So coming from the New World, you would have seen all sorts of raw materials, sugar coming out of the Caribbean, for instance, tobacco, timber, rice, indigo. From Europe going to both Africa and the New World, you're going to see all sorts of manufactured goods. And then, of course, you're going to see the forced labor of Africans from Africa to the New World. So we want to be able to think about the causes of this. So we're going to tie into, of course, mercantilism and this desire for these European countries to become very wealthy and control as many exports over imports. Then also think about the effects of this. And we're going to get into our lesson on slavery next, and that will really show you the large effect that it had on that part of the triangle.